Okay, once I have my flag of tape on the end of my core and I have my name and hour on it, I'm going to get a needle from the container on the desk, and I'm going to pick out my first color yarn that I want for my base layer of my coil basket. If you can thread a needle without using a threader, that would be putting it through the eye of the needle, the end hole, and that would just be shoving the yarn right through that and pulling like that. But as you can see, sometimes with yarn it can be a little bit tricky because yarn likes to fray. So if you're struggling getting it through the eye of the needle, then use a threader. And threaders are just a little folded piece of paper that are on the teacher desk by hall passes, and I just put the end of the yarn in between the folded paper, hang on to the folded paper, and then I'm going to put the paper right through the eye of the needle and pull it through, and then the threader goes right back in the same container so someone else can use it. So then I'm going to attach my yarn to the needle. I'm going to make a circle of yarn, and then I'm going to put the end, loop the end under the circle and through the hole. Then I'm going to pull, and I'm going to do the exact same thing again so that I'm creating a knot. So making a circle with my yarn, right, and then putting the end, just twisting the end under through the hole, and then pulling again. Okay, so now that I have my needle attached to one end, I'm going to find the open end and start with the non-taped edge of my core, and I'm going to hold my core with my left hand and hold my yarn with my right to begin, and I'm going to lay the end of my yarn approximately 2 inches up the core. Okay, so notice the end of the core is going to my left and the end of the yarn is on my one side, on my left side, going to the right. Okay, so they're laying in opposite directions from each other, and then I'm going to hold on with my thumb and my index finger. I'm just going to squeeze the end of that yarn and hold it tight. Make sure it doesn't slip out from my thumb, and I'm going to start wrapping around the core, making sure that I'm not showing the core, so I'm not leaving a gap. I'm making sure that it gets, each line I wrap around rests directly next to the one I did before, so they're just side by side. Okay, I don't have to pull super hard, but I want to pull hard enough that it's not loose and doesn't have gaps in between. Okay, so when I get really close to the edge there, and I might even be able to cover a little bit more, then I'm going to fold the core, and it's not going to be easy to fold right away, so I'm going to fold the core, hold on to the folded edge of the core, and I'm going to wrap over both pieces of the core where I folded. Okay, so I folded, and now I'm wrapping over both pieces, and I probably wrapped like 4 to 5 times, or really tightly, so I can hold it together. Okay, and then you're gonna notice I have like a little space there, so once I wrap around like 4 or 5 times so I know it's tight enough, then I'm going to actually take my needle end of the yarn, and I'm still hanging on to this piece so it doesn't unwind, and I'm gonna put the needle right through the center of the core where I just kind of made a hole with my yarn, and then I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to go through the center about 2 to 3 times, and I'm only doing that because I want to make sure it's really holding, okay, so that when I let go of my hand, the core doesn't come apart. So now it's stuck, okay, and I'm ready to start my base.